Okay, I want to talk about languages. Now, the reason why I want to talk about languages or the way how people speak is I heard on the radio how some I think is some media company let out a tweet said who this, right? So who this is basically like is kind of like a slang, right? Now, a lot of people speak like that for real. Like this is the way that we do it. Instead of saying this, they say this, like dis. And like the saying that the New Orleans has, who that, or who that nation, who that, you know, that's a slang. Everybody join in, but it's like people really speak like that around the country. Who that, who this, and a lot of people associate that with ignorance or stupidity or dumbness or something like that. So, but really, what it is, it just stems back from a language that black people actually were speaking because English was not their first language. And like you have to understand this, like if you come from another country and then and you start speaking another country's language, that's not your first language. So it's not going to be the same. You're not going to speak the way that other people speak. Now, when you put that together with someone keeping you from learning their language, like it's different if you are American and you go over to China or France. Let's just say China, right? Because they France, you still have look like English letters, but they just put in different ways and have accents and all this stuff. So let's say China. So you come to China and then you don't know the language. No one's teaching you the language by book, right? So you learn it through just hearsay. So I mean, you just by ear, just by listening, kind of like I won't even say like a baby, but I guess you could say like a baby, but you just learn the language like that. So if you go to China and you start trying to speak Chinese, it's gonna be different. People are gonna start laughing at you because they know that's not the way you actually are to speak these particular words. But that's how you understand it, right? And I also, like I said, add that no one is teaching you via book the proper way. So you just gonna have a slang to that language, to that Chinese language. Now, it's going to be perpetuated through generations. Let's say that you have a son, a daughter, and then they have a son and daughter, and nobody's teaching them the right way to say this particular language. Well, you're going to have your own dialect, and everybody's going to understand that dialect because that's how you learned it, right? So that's when you hear people say this, dad, and done did it, and done did it, and they're just different ways that you're really not supposed to say the English language, the proper way of speaking it. Now, the reason why I say proper way because the proper way is how they teach you. Now, if you go over to England, they have their own way of speaking English. Australia, South Africa, different places around the world, they speak English differently. Jamaica, they speak English, but they speak their own version of. It's not a Jamaican language down there. But they have their own version of speaking English, right? It's just changed. So I don't think you should look at the way people speak slang is dictating what their intelligence is. They are just speaking a language that they've been taught as kids. You know, and I can actually say that I'm bilingual. Because of the English language. I know the proper way that the quote unquote proper way that they teach you how to speak English, and I know Ebonics because I've heard Ebonics growing up. I heard slang growing up, and I've been taught what is quote unquote the correct way of speaking English. So I know both ways of how to speak those particular types of English. You can go even as far as different parts of the country speak different because people down south speak differently than people up north. Ka. You know what I just said? Ka. I bet you people up north know what I just said. I said car, C-A-R, car, right? Well, you go down here to Atlanta and somebody you say car, they be like, "What you talking about? Car what? Car? What are you talking about?" They don't know what that is. Car. I was riding in a car yesterday. What? You mean car? See what I'm saying? So it all depends on how you speak it, man. And that don't mean that person's ignorant because they say car. They're just different way how they speak that particular word, right? So I want people to understand that and just think about that. Think about just because you might hear somebody speaking in a certain way, that does not mean that they are stupid or ignorant. That just means that they have been exposed more to that particular type of language, and that's what they know. Period.